Hello there, and welcome back to Napalm's newest news. Today we're talking about the summer sales in the Gaijin store. First of all, link in the description down below. Second of all, I'm sorry about my stuffed nose, but the stuff that's flying outside there is quite nasty. Nothing that I can do about it. Sorry about this. Allergies, you know. So from the 23rd of June till the 30th of June, you have the chance to get some packages with some nice discounts. First of all, 30 discounts on all vehicle packs except the latest Red Skies update. Then you have some special bundles with 50% off. However, there is also one final thing that you have to consider before we talk about all the bundles individually, and that is that for you, the price of the bundle will depend on whether you already have some of the packs or not. Be sure to log in to the store to see your individual price. Meaning that if you have either one of the planes or one of the tanks in the mentioned packages here, the discount is still 50% on that what you don't have but still want to buy. Hence you have to log in. So again, link in the description down below. Let's now talk about them individually. We have the T29 and P38K combined pack for 35 Gaijin coins or dollars or euros, whatever. And I think that the T29 is a good solid US heavy tank, but just like all other heavy tanks that are mentioned here in the bundles, its armor doesn't really matter because there is heat FS for some mediums and especially light tanks at its own battle rating. But aside from this, it's a cool tank. Then we have the P38K, a rather rare plane these days, and it has also great performance in terms of speed and climb rate. But by the time you can make this work in air realistic battles, because it doesn't really have exceptional ground pounding ordnance, your team very often is already dead. That's just RRB for you. So it is a potential carry machine, but it has more than its fair share of possibilities to do so, which is not always a positive thing. Also, they are rank 4, so you can only research up to rank 5 without penalty. So I think if you are familiar with Vautour and you really like this World War II style, then this is a cool package for 35. Then for the same price we have the IS-6 and the LA-11. These days the IS-6 is far from what it used to be when it was introduced, where it was blatantly overpowered. These days it's adjusted, and so it will also die to light tanks heat FS like flies. But overall it's a bit better than the IS-3, I think. So it's okay-ish. The LA-11 on the other hand, I never really liked it. I liked the look of the plane, but its performance together with its firepower didn't really convince me, although I did not have time to check up on what Gaijin shared with the It's Been Fixed number 10, I think, where they mentioned amongst many things the 23mm fuse being shortened, so they should blow up on aircraft's wings more reliably now. We will see. But overall, not that desirable compared to this one. Also LA-11 RRB only in my opinion, because no ground strike capabilities. Then we have the Tiger 2 pack and the Dora pack for the same price. And if you are a German main, this is more or less a must-have. While there are also only rank 4s, the Tiger 2 is a really great heavy tank, but the problem is in close quarters knife fights and versus light tanks with heat FS and better performance, it has its fair share of problems. But when you get one of those rare moments where you can snipe at long ranges versus other heavy tanks or medium tanks, it's a really great tank. The Dora pack, on the other hand, well, the D13, it can be used in combined battles alongside the Tiger 2 because it has also some bombs, but it's a little bit of a brick. Again, it has great performance. The 320mm MG 151-20s, they just shred planes. You have tons of ammo, so it's a universal plane, and in RRB this is one of the statistically best planes, but it's not really beginner friendly. Then we come to one of the more expensive ones, the T55 AM1 and Yak 38 pack. In this now, well, how to say it? The T55 AM1 is a great high tier main battle tank, and it is very versatile. I really like it. It has the best character for my thinking, but it doesn't really have the overall best performance, but it still can do the job. While its armor isn't really that outstanding versus AP FSTS, which almost everybody uses, it is decent versus SPA and also versus heat defense from the front. The turret's also pretty tough. But in this order, the Yak 38 is the first VTOL that you can get, and you can use it not just in AirRB but also in combined arms. A bit more modern is, well, the cheaper package 55 for the T72 AV Terms T and the Black Shark pack. Aside from the KA52, the KA50 here, the Black Shark, is the best premium in the game, and it absolutely dominates the enduring confrontation, but also is quite decent in tank battles, although it's not what it used to be at introduction, because you cannot launch it with a full armament right at the start of the battle, but you still can wreak havoc on the enemy team right from the start. And the T72, well, you can bypass all of the grind throughout the Soviet tech tree if you just want to get the Soviet feeling. Buy this one, and it's also some of the best when it comes especially to the thermal imaging optic quality, because it's some of the best in the game. And you have ERA all around. You have the same weak spots, the same layout, the same turret emergency ejection system, so your big ammo rack below the turret. It's your typical Soviet tank with style. If you go for that, it's a decent package. Also very decent is the Leopard A1A1 L44 and the German Fiat G91R4. And in this case, in my opinion, the Fiat G91R4 is not a plane that I would like to play in AirRB, because it very often simply gets outperformed, and also the stopping power from the gun firepower isn't that great. But in combined battles, this thing is feared, because it has not tiny teams, what are they called? I don't know, but it has those really mean air-to-ground missiles, and I think 4 of them, as you can see here advertised. And obviously the L44 has one of the punchiest premium tank guns, and also one chassis that can support it in terms of mobility and handling. Very similar is the Italian package, also for 55, with the OF40 Mark II MTCA. I think it has 1 degree more gun depression, but I think it doesn't have thermal imaging, if I'm not mistaken. Same with the Fiat G91R4, it's copy-paster or copy-pasta, whatever. And I think, yeah, if you are an Italian main, then buy this one if you don't already have it, instead of this one. So then we come to the AV8A Harrier and XM1. So the XM1 is still one of the fastest high-tier premiums that you can buy. And while it looks like an Abram, it doesn't have the armor. It's just a little bit of spaced armor, if I'm not mistaken. So you can absorb HESH rounds, but versus darts or even APHE, I wouldn't really rely on surviving a hit. Then we also have the second VTOL, vertical takeoff and landing, the AV8A Harrier, and that's also quite decent. Then we come to the Japanese one, the Type 74 Mod G Kai. While it looks like your average high-tier Western MBT of the era, I think that you have to consider that it has only 5 degrees of gun depression, very limited gun elevation, but has hydropneumatic suspension to compensate for it. If you're really into this mechanic and you really love this gimmick, then be my guest. I find it rather impractical, but overall it's still a solid tank. The Sabre, on the other hand, well, it's just not my type, to be honest. I don't really like it. Then we have the Chinese Shenyang F-5 and Type 69 2G bundle. I like my Type 69 2G, but it's not everybody's thing, and the gun handling is rather poor, and so while you have a proximity fuse shell versus aircraft and helicopters, it's rather rare to make good use of it. And the Shenyang, well, it's a good plane, but there is so much power creep, there is so much feature creep. If this plane gets up-tiered, you don't have a lot of fun, and the armament for what is basically a MiG-17, if I'm not mistaken, well, it leaves things to be desired. Moving on to the Saab J29D and CV90-105 Now this is one of the best premiums that you can get because it's a light tank. It has all the gimmicks like scouting, artillery strike, recovering crew, helping allies to not just repair but also extinguishing fire if you're a team player, and has good mobility and very good thermal imaging for both the commander and the gunner. So this is fantastic, and well, features than a usual 105mm gun, although the muzzle brake is a bit different. Now the Saab J29D, I personally liked it. But again, it's more to be used, in my opinion. Well, you can use it in both AirRB and combined battles. A great package, actually. Then we have the Hunter FG-89 and the Rooikat 105. And, well, the Rooikat is a fantastic tank. I love its mobility. And so you can bypass all the slow things in the British tech tree, of which there are quite many. The Hunter FG-89 is also quite solid, but I think it's not the one that you really want. So because it doesn't have the SRAMs. So 55, it's a bit more about the tank than the plane, although the plane can be used both in tank RB and air RB. Now this is also a very interesting package, the French Vautour 2A and the Super MX-30. I really like the Super MX-30 because of its overall performance. It's more like your average Western main battle tank, but it has its own individual style, and I like it. There is nothing wrong with it. It's fast, it's deadly, and that's all that you need to know. The Vautour 2A. Okay, this is a bit controversial because this plane is in theory quite versatile, but in practice, it's a very dumb rush machine. In AirRB, you pack the 10 750-pound bombs, and you hunt those. You hunt with your air start those bases, those bombing points, and then you just go head on with your 430mm. If you kill some in a head on, it's great. If you get killed, that's all that you need, and you move on to the next battle. You also have decent ground pounding performance as a bomber, that is clear, but I think you don't have the bomber's aim view, and you don't have a holographic aiming help as far as I'm aware. So I like my Vautour too once in a while to just simply do a bit of grinding, and you can also equip 4 air-to-air missiles to surprise enemies when you just mimic going for ground targets, then turn around behind the entire enemy team and launch 4 of them. And if you hit at least one, then you have quite the giggling. Moving on to the first French premium pack that should come before the other one. This is the SO8000 Narval and the Somua SM. The Somua SM has a nasty autoloader, but with only solid shot, not AP-FSDS or APDS, but normal solid shot, although with decent penetration, decent mobility, decent frontal protection, aside from the turret. The hull is quite surprisingly strong. And the SO8000, and that is a little bit of a brick. While you have fantastic firepower with, I think, 6 German 20mm MG 151-20, the performance, it's not really that desirable in my opinion, but it's also not really outstandingly bad. Now here we have a real winner. And for 40 Gaijin coins or something, the price is absolutely understandable because we go a little bit up in battle rating for the tank, or in terms of rank. I think it's a rank 5 one, and so that explains the 5 Gaijin coins, dollars or euros difference. The AVRE is the mother of all derps. Only the FV405 has a bigger gun, but this one brings armor and era into a fight where it still matters, and it's just hilarious to see things explode. The master velocity is really bad, so you really have to train how to literally lob the shell. It's like throwing a watermelon at your enemy that is a ultra big hash round. Absolutely fantastic. And the Wyvern is also a pretty good ground striker. Some people can use it also as a fighter, but its performance really drops off after 5,000 meters of altitude. But it has a whole load of rockets and also bombs, so you can use it in AirModels and ground RP. Probably one of the best packages that brings also the most fun. So this has been my hopefully short enough update video on the summer sales in War Thunder. Again, link in the video description down below. I hope you enjoy. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Please give this video a like with it. Subscribe if you want to see more. Sorry about my stuffed nose, but allergies, it's not really cool. And yeah, we will see each other next time.